watching Luntha television and it's time for news. My name is Hilbert. And now let's have a look at our top stories. Cardinal Zen very concerned about synod on synodality. 3 people found with offensive weapons at AIP selling point. Classes resume amid tough cholera preventive measures in Luntha and Lilongwe. And in international news, shock as head of Ethiopian Supreme Court resigns. We have these and more other stories to stay tuned in. Cardinal Joseph Zen has said that he is very concerned about what could happen with the ongoing synod on synodality and that he is praying that the Pope will have greater wisdom. In an interview with the Italian newspaper, in an article which has been published on 17th January 2023, Zen said he hopes the synod will change from its current course. The retired Bishop of Hong Kong was likely referring to the pastoral council held in the Netherlands between 1966 and 1970, which called for church authority to be carried out in dialogue, for women to assume ecclesial roles, and for priestly celibacy to be optional in the church. We have the details.
And so followed the publication of the Dutch Catechism, a text so controversial that Pope Paul VI asked the Commission of Cardinals to examine its presentation of Catholic teaching. In the interview, Cardinal Zen also reflected on his private meeting with Pope Francis when he was allowed to travel to Rome for the funeral of Pope Benedict XVI earlier this month, calling it a wonderful meeting, very warm. He said that Catholics in China are living in a difficult situation and that the Catholic Church should never forget to pray in these difficult times. The Synod on Synodality is a 2-year process that Pope Francis began last October. Officially known as Synod 2021 to 2023, for a Synod Church, it is a process that allows bishops to consult with Catholics from parishioners all the way up to priests in a spirit of collaboration and openness.
The Pontifical Mission Societies in Malawi says celebrations on the Epiphany Sunday on 8th January this year were successful, looking at how the parishes and dioceses conducted the events. PMS National Director, the Very Reverend Father Vincent Mopawa, has attributed the success to collaboration among all relevant stakeholders within and outside the Church who contributed generously towards the day. On 8th January, children in the Catholic Church participated in this year's Epiphany Sunday celebration, which represents the manifestation of Jesus Christ to the whole world, regardless of the diverse cultures. Father Makwawa explains more.
We want to encourage all children in Malawi and all over the world, but especially for the children of the diocese, that they should continue praying for fellow children and praying for the needs of the church and praying for everyone in the world throughout the year till November, when we shall hand over this responsibility to another diocese, especially in those dioceses, for the Epiphany of 2024. Thank you so much, all animators, thank you all priests, and thank you all parents for all the support you give to the children. We also thank our partners outside Malawi, various missions, Missio UK, Missio Austria, Missio Slovenia, Missio Czech Republic, but also other missions who have been supporting us in various ways. We thank them for the great support. Through the children in these countries, they are able to support children in Malawi, those who are in need of such support, but also that life of children in Malawi should be transformed and they should experience Christ through children of this country that supports Malawi.
New Japanese extraordinary ambassador to Malawi, Yuki Oya, has on Tuesday presented his letters of credence to President Lazarus Chakwera at Kamuzu Palace in Lilongwe. Ambassador Oya is coming to represent his country in Malawi for the second time, having worked at the Japanese embassy in Malawi some 12 years ago. Oya has succeeded Ambassador Satoshi Iwakari. Police in Doha on Monday arrested 3 men for allegedly being found with a gun and other offensive weapons at a selling point of fertilizer under the Affordable Inputs Program. Doha Police Station published Sub-Inspector Gladson Pumpa identified the suspects as Gelsom Edward, 35, Richard Edward, 25, both from Beta Village, and Prince Kaunda, 25, of Mponera Village, Ocean Authority Chitugula, in Lilongwe District. They were arrested on Monday afternoon at the Waboma Trading Center. Seen in government stock. Tadiwa Mzumara reports.
Malawi received a consignment of 2.9 million doses of cholera vaccine last November, funded by the Global Alliance of Vaccines, Gavi, and facilitated by the World Health Organization, WHO. The rampant surge in cholera cases has seen the vaccination campaign receiving overwhelming public response, with less than 40,000 doses currently remaining in stock. Confirming the development, Ministry of Health spokesperson Adrian Chikumbe admitted that government is not likely to receive a new consignment of the vaccine anytime soon due to its high demand, since Malawi is not the only country battling with the disease. Chikumbe went further to encourage strict adherence to cholera preventive and control measures, especially hygiene practices, noting that it is the only effective way of curbing the further spread.
If we had the vaccine, the next consignment tomorrow, it's not like we're going to vaccinate each and every person. No, we only concentrate on hotspot areas. This is why whether in the hotspot areas where we are administering the vaccine or other areas, we still insist that what is key is to follow hygiene and sanitation principles. And that is more sustainable than the vaccine which we are competing for and which is only also providing a 5-year protection.
Concurring with Chikumbe was one of the country's health analysts, George Jobe, who has also encouraged on the need for the public to have the knowledge of how to make their own oral rehydration solution so as to curb deaths caused by cholera.
The people who have died either at home or on the way to the health facility or soon after arrival at the health facility. So first aid should also be thought of by Malawians, that when one has the cholera symptoms, they should make the oral rehydration solution by mixing half teaspoon of salt, 6 teaspoons of sugar in 1 liter of water which has been boiled and has been cooled, so that the patient is rehydrated right from home and even on the way to a health facility. Otherwise, sometimes people lose a lot of water and die.
Malawi has recorded over 24,000 cases of cholera and over 800 people have died since the onset of the outbreak in March 2022. For Luntha News in Lilongwe, this is Thandiwe Mzumara.
You are still watching news right here on Luntha Television and on our various social media platforms. Now let's have a look at our top stories once more before we proceed. Cardinal Zen very concerned about synod on synodality. 3 people found with offensive weapons at AIP selling point. classes resume amid tough cholera preventive measures in Luntha and Lilongwe. And in international news, shock as head of Ethiopian Supreme Court resigns. Schools in Lilongwe and Luntha based districts have resumed today with strict adherence to tough cholera preventive measures, such as having treated water designated for drinking. During a spot check in some of Lilongwe-based schools, we found that water buckets have been placed on the schools' entrances and already cooked food stuff were not sold around their schools. In random interviews with the school's head teachers, Luntha Television learned that parents have contributed money for the purchase of the equipment. Priska Mashushu reports.
The head teacher further said they will make sure that the students are maintaining hygiene by keeping the school clean, using the toilets properly, and washing hands frequently with soap and water. Additionally, he said parents were informed to avoid giving children money to buy food, but rather they should give them food that is already cooked at home as a way of preventing the spread of the disease.
Before schools open, we have several meetings in our different places like TTCs, whereby we have been sensitized concerning this cholera issue, whereby we are told to submit the same information to the parents, and in the morning we had the school governing bodies which we have shared with them the information, and again we ask them at least to provide package to each and every school. Besides those we have got, we have asked them to add more, that every class should have maybe 2 or 3. We have already sensitized learners how to use the toilet effectively, so that we should not have that problem of having cholera.
Sister Selila Pakudumra, a principal at St. Maria Goretti Girls Secondary School in Lilongwe, has confirmed that all students are observing the light measures that were put in place by the government in order to prevent the disease. She also stressed that the school has disinfected the hostels and the classes so that students can study in an environment that will not endanger their lives.
We had a meeting and we discussed about the cholera together with our management, and we are trying our best to keep the environment neat. First of all, then we have the first aid box, and we have the committee who can look after the students whenever they are sick, and they can bring the notice to the office. Then we can take to the hospital and we can check them whether they are okay or not when they are any sick. So we are trying our best to keep the students to aware of these instructions, so that they can know what they are supposed to do according to the cholera instructions.
Schools in the 2 districts were asked to extend the holiday of December due to the outbreak of cholera, and have resumed today so that students can continue their studies with their fellow students in all the districts in the country. In Malawi, first cholera case was recorded in March last year. For Luntha TV, this is Priska Mashushu.
Stakeholders looking into the welfare of livestock have urged the public to put at heart the welfare of all livestock to increase levels of production. This has been reviewed at a half-day media training organized by the National Youth Network on Climate Change on the cage-free campaign and animal welfare issues in Malawi. Speaking at a training held in Lilongwe, Director in the Department of Animal Health and Livestock Development in the Ministry of Agriculture, Dr. Julius Chulu, said for the country to have good animal products, there is need for everyone to take a very good care of all animals around them. Bernard Mwanza reports.
The Department of Animal Health and Livestock Development is the competent veterinary authority mandated with the regulation and provision of veterinary services in Malawi, with a core responsibility and competence for ensuring the implementation of animal health and welfare measures. According to Dr. Churu, animal health has to be well taken care of by controlling all the conditions in which animals are raised, transported and slaughtered. He said there is a number of acts passed by Parliament and other guidelines that should help each individual to have a responsibility in promoting animals' welfare.
An animal that is given very good care is going to produce more. An animal that is sick is not going to produce. So if you take care of your animals when they're sick, take them to the vet. We're telling people through media houses, through NGOs, through our fortnightly meetings that if you take care of your animals, the benefit are yours.
On his part, Clement Makua, who is the Advocacy and Partnership Coordinator at the National Youth Network on Climate Change, NYNCC, said the training basically wanted to equip journalists on how they can effectively and competently report about animal welfare issues, with special focus on cage-free farming systems and raise awareness about cage-free campaign among the media.
There's a lot of gap that is there in as far as issues to do with animal welfare and also legal and policy frameworks around animal welfare in Malawi. So what we are trying to do is to use various avenues. So one is the media. Secondly, we will roll out campaigns around the country in regions, sensitizing key stakeholders in the industry so that they can also understand what they need to do and how they can trade around livestock production.
Cage-free farming involves farm environments where chickens who produce eggs, known as layer hens, may live in open indoor spaces instead of within small cages to represent an increased quality of life for hens as compared with those held in cages. The media training was organized with financial support from Open Wing Alliance, OWA, and several representatives from media institutions, mainly from the Central Region, were in attendance. For Luntha News in Lilongwe, I am Bernard Manza.
And now in sports, Nyasa Big Bullets and star player Chimwemwe Idana have maturely agreed to part ways after the two parties failed to reach an agreement over a new contract. The 24-year-old, who was promoted to the senior team from the reserves towards the end of 2017 season, turned down a new contract offer as he demanded more than what Bullets could offer. Reports are indicating that he is on the verge of securing a deal with a Tanzanian club in the coming days. Now news from elsewhere. In a surprise move, the head of Ethiopia's Supreme Court, Mieza Ashnaf, and her deputy Solomon Naredi have resigned. No reason has so far been given. Judge Mieza, a former women's rights activist, was appointed Supreme Court's president in 2018. In a move that was seen as a testament to the reformist agenda to Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed when he took office. In the later 1980s and early 1990s, she was a judge in Ethiopia's High Court. Later, she formed the Ethiopian Women Lawyers Association to help. Well, that also concludes our today's news bulletin. But before we go, a reminder of our top stories. Cardinal Zen very concerned about synod on synodality. 3 people found with offensive weapons at AIP selling point. Classes resume amid tough cholera preventive measures in Luntha and Lilongwe. And in international news, shock as head of Ethiopian Supreme Court resigns. Thanks for watching. My name is Helbert Kata, and remember to always observe cholera preventive measures. It's goodbye for now.